Hello everyone, this is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today our guest is Eduardo Penha, who will be fighting on LFA 173 December 15th. Hello Eduardo, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Eduardo, you will be back in the LFA cage quite quickly because it will be 3 months. And if you can tell me, what do you think about your current opponent, Ronnie Hauser, and what is your prediction about this fight?
Man, I think he's a tough guy. He seems to be real durable, real strong, compact guy, wrestler. So every time you get a collegiate wrestler, a wrestler of his caliber, all those guys are tough. All those guys are durable, strong mindset. So, kind of expecting nothing less than to like a hard fight, long, durable fight. So if I have a prediction, I mean, this is what I hope. 5 second flying armbar. In and out, hopefully. Who knows? The quicker the better. But ready for the worst, expecting the best.
And he actually got a free fight winning streak. So I think that he's on the up tendency because he lost two first fights and then he won three next. So I think that right now he can be more dangerous than like 1 year ago.
For sure, yeah. Every time somebody gets momentum like that behind them, they can be dangerous, especially when they get a lot of fights in short time like that. They create a good rhythm, so that's even more dangerous. So definitely not being slept on. Definitely respecting his wins and his talents.
And in your last fight, you defeated Ramcharan, the fighter who, like on the first look, he might not seems to be really dangerous because he was 0-0. It was his pro debut, but he also was 8-2 as the amateur, and the two losses were split decision. So he actually can be a 10-0 as the amateur. So it was, I think, that quite sneaky fight for you.
Yeah, for sure. He had a higher amateur career. I think he was like number one in the East Coast, number one in New York. So when he went pro, maybe some people were underlooking him, but I think maybe he was having a hard time finding fights too because he had such a good amateur career. But sometimes we got to get it when we can. And I was having a hard time finding fights. He was having a hard time finding fights. So we were both game to fight each other. So.
And it was a great performance because you dominated him in the first and second round, and you finished him in the third round. So I think that the third round finishes are also a cool thing because it's not the like 10 second guillotine choke, but you dominated him. You proved that you are a better fighter, and then in the third round you finish him when you have a chance.
Yeah, for sure. No, he was super resilient, super durable. Kind of how I'm expecting Ronnie to be. I got him in deep submissions. I think in the first and the second, and you got to chip away at these guys that are super durable, and keep that consistency. To where like you're saying, if you get a quick guillotine, sometimes some people think it's luck. So if you get a third round, it tests the cardio, test the mindset a little bit on both fighters. Even though I did catch him, he was game from beginning to end.
And is a plan for you right now to fight frequently, like 4 or 5 time a year?
Yeah. I'm always healthy. I maintain good shape all the time. I'm always in the gym, always in a good like always near my weight. I can always make weight within a couple weeks. So uh yeah, it's like the more frequent the better. Um as long as I have time to get better in between my fights, I'm always trying to get better, and I don't want to take too many fights back to back because I would like time to get better and analyze my mistakes from the previous fight and have time to grow. Sometimes when you take fights back to back to back to back, uh, you grow in different ways, but sometimes like you don't get to really like hone in some skills and really like pay attention and to certain things you really need.
LFA has like very deep bantamweight division because bantamweight division is probably the best one, and they have they have many good fighters. And do you have a fighter in mind that you would like to face after this fight?
Um, man. No, not I don't have anybody in mind, but whatever gets me closer to the goal, you know. So whether it's getting to a big show like a PFL, Bellator, UFC, or whatever gets me closer to the title as well, you know. At the end of the day, everybody wants to climb up in some sort of way. Definitely don't want to take steps back ever.
And usually LFA title mean going to especially UFC, sometimes it's Bellator or PFL, but I think that if you will be able to win a championship, it's like it's a rare thing to defend the title because you just go to one of the best promotions.
For sure, yeah, it's a good problem, huh? When you get a title, you get to go somewhere else. It's a win-win. You get a title, you got the title, you can defend it, and stay in LFA, which is man, they they're a great organization. They're ran. I feel like they're ran like the UFC, ran like these big shows, you know. So it gives you the experience of being in a big show, and then if not, you don't defend it. You go to the UFC or a Bellator, like you're saying. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win. You stay at the top.
Yes, I think that almost all fighters who won a LFA bantamweight title went to the UFC. One fighter, I believe, went to Bellator, but it means that it was a UFC or Bellator.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that guy. I felt like it kind of surprised everybody because it seems like everybody that was winning LFA was going straight to the UFC, and then that guy kind of surprised some people, took a different route.
And if we can talk about your beginnings in the sport, because you are the son of the legend of Sergio Penha, so I can like presume that the BJJ was the first combat sport that you trained.
Yeah, for sure. I started jujitsu. Man, I don't even remember starting learning an armbar, learning these things. You know, my dad would take me to the gym and we'd play. I'd play with other kids. I'd play with other adults, and next thing you know, I'm learning by having fun. I really couldn't tell you like learning the fundamentals of the sport. It just kind of like a little kid playing soccer. You know, like he just learns how to kick the ball, and then he learns how to kick the ball a little bit better, and then like just having fun. With no never with any intention put on me to fight or anything like that. I have an older brother. That's not the path he chose, and an older sister. But he used to take us all to the gym like it was like daycare. You know, while he got to train, we trained. When he trained, we played with other kids. You know, so I was raised in the gym.
And when you become a BJJ black belt,
2019, February 2019. So right before COVID.
and do you start or do you plan to start in some grappling competition, either gi or no gi? Or
Yeah, I did the trials for ADCC last year. I think it was like a something crazy, like a 400 man bracket. I got to the round of 64, round of 80, something like that, 80 something, 80 or 70 guys, and then I lost. But yeah, as long as it doesn't interfere with my fight schedule, I'll do tournaments, whether it's wrestling tournaments or jujitsu tournaments by staying sharp. Even my first year competing in MMA. I was entering wrestling opens. I entered the ASU Open, the Bakersfield Open. So just any competition, whether it's grappling or wrestling or jujitsu, gi or no gi, I tend to do. I like to do. I'm like I said, I'm always in the gym. So at the end of the day, these tournaments are just another tool to get me better.
I think that you're like because also like fans can see you from the perspective that you are a BJJ fighter, but like watching your fights, it's like hard to say either you like started with BJJ, wrestling or striking because in the LFA fights you look great in every area of the game. So it's kind of crazy to see the grappler who can also take down opponent without any problem, dominate him on the ground, and if there is a need to stand and strike, you stand and strike. So what is a like recipe to be as good as you are, having only three professional bouts?
Man, one thing I felt like made a big difference to me was I'm not saying this is the recipe, but this is the path I took is I started doing jujitsu as a child and took that very seriously. and started wrestling in high school. And after high school, I wanted to start fighting at a young age, 17, 18 years old. But then I went on to wrestle in college, and it gave my wrestling time to mature. Me time to hone in different skills. Just being patient and really focusing on my jujitsu as a growing up as a youth. And then wrestling, I took my time to learn the art of wrestling, the craft of wrestling, the craft of jujitsu. And now I'm taking my time to learn the craft of Muay Thai boxing. I'm in no rush. Right after I graduated high school or college, I think I took a year or 2 years, not taking any fights, not doing any of that, just really trying to focus on being a better mixed martial artist, being a better Muay Thai fighter, being a better wrestler, being a better jiu-jitsu player. And I'm not saying this is the recipe for everybody, but this is the recipe I took. I see some kids, they start at 10 years old, they do all three, and sometimes all three become kind of like okay, and versus really being specializing and specializing and specializing. And then there's some that are not like anomalies. They uh they they start all three and they become great at all three. I think everybody has a different recipe. Everybody's got a different like taste buds. So everybody's got to add different spices, add different flavors. Uh for me it might have been this, for you it might have been that. And I think everybody's got their own path, everybody's got their own journey, and everybody learns different. So yeah, I'm not gonna say this is the recipe, but this is my recipe. And I think if I did, looking back now, I think if I would have started at 18, 17, didn't go to college to wrestle, I think it might have taken me longer. It might have, I appreciate my dad, older coaches at the gym guiding me and mentoring me to, man, there's no rush, to start early. It's a marathon at the end of the day. So no need to sprint to the finish line. It's a long, long, long road. So I'm happy my dad and people guided me to that.
Yes, definitely. For you, it worked.
For sure, yeah. And then I got my dad as a jiu-jitsu coach. I wrestled in college under great programs in Northwest Wyoming and Colorado Mesa. And now I got a great striking coach that helps me every day. That Steve Cantwell. That I feel like everything is falling into place little by little. Surrounding myself with great people is just kind of really falling into place. These puzzles are finishing themselves.
And what is a main gym that right now you are training in?
The main gym?
Yes.
The main gym. So I train at my dad's gym, Sergio Penha Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and then I do my striking with Steve Cantwell, and he'll come over there and we'll find sparring. So it's really just, we got a small team, a small group. It's really just us three, and um, Red Road training really helps me. It's just where it gets me stronger. So it's really a small team, real intimate team. We real it's a small team. Everybody gets very personalized attention. We're not a typical big gym. Not there's anything wrong with the big gyms like Extreme Couture, the Syndicates, the ATTs and all that. We're just very small, very compact gym. Not too many of us.
And Steve is WC and I believe UFC veteran.
Yep. Steve was a last WEC champ at 205 and then UFC veteran as well. Yes.
Yes, he had like fights against Brian Stan, if I'm correct.
Yeah. He had a trilogy with Brian Stan. Great fights with Louis Kane. So he's been in the game for a while now, and I'm thankful he's helping me.
And on the paper, what would you say it's like the toughest stylistically matchup for you?
Man, I don't know. Francis Ngannou would be pretty. I don't know. Somebody that's better than me everywhere. Somebody that has better cardio, better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling, better everything. That would be the worst. That would be the biggest nightmare. Stronger, faster. Um, I like to say I'm pretty comfortable in all the three aspects, all the three major aspects of the sport. So if somebody doesn't give you an outlet to go to, if they're better than you on striking, you try to use your wrestling, you can't use your wrestling. You try to use your jiu-jitsu, you can't use your jiu-jitsu. I would say that would be the worst. Like there's no outlet. It just gets worse and worse and worse. The waters just get deeper and deeper. I feel like, but that's for everybody, of course. I don't know. I have a hard time answering that question. Somebody that can kind of nullify everything's got an answer. That guy would be a nightmare. A John Jones, you know.
I thought that maybe as like someone who had a like more MMA experience, like kind of veteran who saw many tricks, many things in the game, he can be stylistically like had some like moves for you.
For sure, yeah. I think somebody like a veteran is always tough in for any up and comer or person that's been at the top because they've seen a lot, you know, for sure. Yeah, that's a good viewpoint. 100% I agree with you. Yeah, they're always dangerous. They know the craft.
And if the I'm not sure what the situation is right now with Bellator, but let's say that Bellator is it's still on the market. And if the PFL or Bellator contacted you and want you to fight there, do you want to go there or wait a little bit longer just to see if the UFC opportunity will happen?
I'm open to whatever. I think there's people around me that are way smarter than me. My managers, my coaches, and that'd be something we have to sit down and talk about. You know, I think at the end of the day, they've been around the game so much longer. I think they would help guide me once that question comes up. You know, once that good problem presents itself. I think they would help guide me into the right direction. But as from right now, we're open to anything. You know, right now the main focus is Ronnie in a month. But once that's done, who knows?
Yes, and sometimes the Bellator PFL can be just another step, and you can have some fights there, and then like UFC can be next step. Sometimes
For
it's sometimes it also happens.
100%. Yeah, I think people created great careers in all the three promotions. In UFC, Bellator, you see Michael Chandler, the Pitbull brothers. They created great careers. Just Michael Chandler just crossed over, but they created great careers in one organization versus hopping around. So wherever feels right, wherever feels like I can achieve my goals and achieve these next steps.
And is there any fighter in the UFC that you would like to face, either in next year or maybe a few years after?
Man, um, all of them probably one day. You know, I'd love to challenge myself against all of them. Uh, at the end of the day, I think all our goals is to be the best, and then you got to prove you got to beat them all to be the best. And I'm not looking for an easy way or anything like that. So at the end of the day, I'd like to challenge myself against whoever's in front, whoever's next. Specific name, I can't think of one. There's probably so many fun fights. I don't want to it get steered the wrong way by me saying a name and you know I'm over here way over here and I'm talking about somebody that's way up there. But I mean, I'd love to challenge myself against everybody. You know, respectfully, I'd like to challenge myself against everybody. You know,
Bantamweight division is so deep that even in your first fight, you probably will get a killer because it's
for
like
sure.
number 30 or 40. It's a like guy who can be in the good day like top 15 guy.
For sure, yeah. It seems like in the bantamweight, like the top 15, top 10, any given day, depending on any given matchup, any of those guys can be champions. All those guys are very complete, tough fighters. And man, and they all seem so game. You know, they all seem like they're not looking for an easy road or an easy opponent. They're all dogs for sure.
And do you have a favorite fighter from the bantamweight division?
Favorite fighter from bantamweight. Man, I don't really have a lot of favorite fighters in general. I think I got a lot of like favorite people. That's how I see it. Like I'm not I'm more of a fan of the person versus the fighter. I think to be a fighter, anybody can be a good fighter, but to be a good person, I'm a fan of the people behind them, like the guys that train at the gym that I've created a relationship. Some of the guys that I've met training in other places, and they're nice. They're they're respectable. They're tough. They kind of have the complete package, and I become fans of those guys. But in the bantamweight, I don't think I've had the opportunity to train with any UFC bantamweights off the top of my head that I can think of.
And what would you say is the like the best thing about being a MMA fighter?
Man, I'm not even gonna say it's the best thing about being an MMA fighter, but the best thing about maybe you feel the same way about your job is I love my job. I think that's the best thing. Every day feels like I wake up blessed to do something. You know, I don't have to as of right now. I'm blessed to be able to train every day, and I don't have to go work a 9 to 5 then to be able to train. I'm blessed to train every day, and I think that's the best thing right now. Is my job is my hobby. My hobby is my occupation. You know, that's I think that's the best thing right now. I don't have to do something I dislike doing. I get to do something I like doing. I get to be around people I enjoy being around every day.
I think that it's one of the keys to happiness, because just going to nine to five job and just like waste your time and energy is it's very very hard and kind of sad. But like you said, you always do what you want. So I think that it's great. You have a great mindset, and you can like fulfill your potential because of it.
For sure, yeah. I don't have to live lavish to be happy. I don't have to have a bunch of money to be happy. Of course, if somebody wants to give me a bunch of money, I'll be happy. But I don't need it. You know, I'm happy with my humble living. You know, I don't need all these things to be happy. At the end of the day, I'm happy every day because I get to wake up, do what I enjoy doing. You know.
And in imaginary world, if you can pick any tool from any fighter from MMA and add to your current skill set, what you would like to let's say borrow?
Man, maybe um Demetrius Johnson, John Jones's experience. It's their knowledge. That's what I would pick. I'd pick that. I think they're one of the smartest in the game. Man, but I can think of so many people then now. Like Volkanovski's everything. These guys have mastered their craft. But yeah, I think I'd pick uh Demetrius Johnson's brain, his 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 mind, his creativity, all that. Everything that comes up there.
Yes, he was a champion for so many years, and like defeated top level fighters in the like ways that like from some kind of game. Sometimes it looked
Right.
like.
Like finesse. He like put his signature on it on everything, different ways, knockouts, submissions. The how he got him was creative and unique, you know. So I think that's cool.
And how do you deal with this stress before your fights?
Man, I just think now it's just normal. I think in the beginning when I first started competing as a child, I'd get nervous, I get scared. Um, Everything, you know, all these overwhelming emotions, all this I used to get flooded with emotions, flooded with all these things that I didn't know how to handle, that I didn't know how to um yeah, I didn't know how to handle, didn't know how to manage, you know, so they would overcome me a little bit. I'd go out and I'd compete poorly. But I think just like everything, the more you do it, the more you do it. It's uncomfortable to do that, you know. But the more you do it, the more you do it, the more comfort you get in the situations. I'm not saying these feelings go away, but you start to know how to handle them and acknowledge them and use them to your to your to your advantage. You know, like I'm not saying it's the same thing, but your first day of school, you're all nervous. You don't know if you're gonna get picked on, if you're if you're gonna make friends, you know, how it's gonna be, and then your second day, and then your third day, and then your fourth day. The next thing you know, you're excited to go to school. You know, you're excited to see your friends. You're excited to hang out with this person or that person. I think it's like that with fighting. At least for me, it was. At first, I'd be, man, I don't know. I used to put these more pressure on myself and more just more things that more weight on my shoulders. And then through competition, one thing that helped me a lot was when I started wrestling. Wrestling, just you have to compete so much throughout the year. I remember I was getting like 80 matches in a year in high school, off season and during the season. Like, you can't feel scared or that anxious or that anxiety 80 times. You're gonna die. It's unhealthy. So you start learning how to manage these things, and then you start knowing almost how to manipulate these things, and feel better in the competition, feel better with the stress, with all that. That's what helped me a lot, was just diving in the like it's like, sorry, these are analogies that come to my mind. Like learning how to swim, you can go step by step, or you can just jump in the deep end and just learn how to swim. So I feel like I jumped in the deep end, matches, tournament. Some lose, some win, some lose, some win, some lose, some win. And you start figuring yourself out. You start learning more about yourself, more about what you like, what you dislike, what you like to do before, what you like to do during, you know, just different things. And I think more is better. More competition, it just makes you more familiar.
It's nothing like experience.
Experience, 100%. Yeah, experience is dangerous, like you're saying. It's probably the most dangerous.
And outside of fighting, do you have any additional passion or hobby that you like to spend your time on?
No. No, I always joke with my family, with my fiance, with my friends. I was like, man, I need to find a hobby. And then I started doing a hobby. I was like, man, I don't like this. It's boring, or it's, you know. So my hobby is my occupation. My occupation is my hobby. My job is my fun. I don't. I like to hang out with my friends, I guess, but I don't have like an activity I like to do. You know, I don't like to read. I don't like to draw. I don't like to do puzzles. I don't like to play video games. I don't like to be on my phone. I don't like to do anything else. I like to be at the gym. I like to joke around with my friends, hang around with my friends, hang around with my family, my fiance, my dog. I like to be around good people. If that's a hobby, that's what I do. I like to eat good food. That's it. If you give me fighting, food, friends, family, that's perfect world for me.
Yes, food definitely can be a hobby.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it then. It conflicts with the occupation a little bit, but I enjoy food a lot.
So maybe you will become a lightweight fighter.
Man, maybe if I don't control myself, I'll be fighting Francis.
And also, I have a two last questions, but it's also outside of fighting. If your house would be on fire and you can pick only one thing to save, what you would pick?
uh, my dog. Object or this guy.
No,
If
no,
it's an
yes,
object,
it can be a dog, but let's say outside of like living creatures.
man, my house on fire,
Yes.
my insurance papers. So I can get, no, I don't know. I'm not really attached to anything. I'm not materialistic. I'm really not attached to anything. Medals, belts. Um, I'm not attached to. Oh, maybe one thing. Maybe one thing. My dad's old tape. My dad has the when his fight with Hickson. It's legendary fight. I'd probably take that. That's one thing that I'm attached to. They say this tape doesn't exist. It exists. I'd take it in the fire.
Okay, maybe next year you would say LFA championship.
Maybe I take that. Yeah, I would never take it off. It would always be on me. I don't have to bring it. It would hold my pants.
And last question. What would you say is like right now your number one goal in life? Like one thing that you would like to accomplish either in sport or like outside of
Okay.
it?
In sport, at the end of the day, I want to be the best I can be. I want to be UFC champion, Bellator champion. Wherever I'm at, I want to be the champion. Hopefully one day go down as one of the best, as somebody that like you have to mention. But in terms of every day, in terms of same goal, be a better son to my parents, be a better brother to my brother and sister, be a better friend to my friends, be a better husband to my wife, be just like I want to be a better fighter. I want to take that mindset and be into life. I want to be the best version I can be of myself, like a video game. You know, I think life sometimes like a video game. I want to reach the highest level in life. I want to level up in every way, be a better have talking skills so I can give better interviews, better conversation. You know, in general, I want to be better. I want to push myself to reach limits of myself and outside of fighting in every way possible. I think be the ultimate video game character. You know, like every video game character, you level up to you're this big bet. You're the best at everything. You know, and I think at the end of the day, I want to level up as a human. I want to level up as a brother, as a husband, as a friend. You know, as a professional. Everything. I want to level up to the best I can be. I'm curious to see what that final form will look like one day, you know?
So you have you want to have like 10 stars of 10 possible.
Yeah, if I can be be the best I can be.
Okay, Eduardo, so many thanks for the conversation. I hope that in your next fight you will have another great performance, and next year we can see you in the UFC, maybe some other promotion, maybe contender series, but in the end you will be in one of the top promotion.
For sure. No, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Question for you: How do you think the fight's gonna go?
I think that it will be submission. I mean that you will win by submission in first or second round.
Okay. Heck yeah. My man.
Okay, thanks.
Fingers crossed.